We are the American Indians. Copper color Indians, baby. A real Indian, American Indian is me, not from Africa. Remember,
African Americans here, but they recently moved here from places like Kenya, Ethiopia, Zambia, Zimbabwe, and Zaire. But now the brother whose family's lived in this country for generations, occupying space in all the locations, New York, Miami, LA, Detroit, Chicago, even if he's wearing a dashiki and sporting an afro. And if you go to Africa in search of your race, you'll find out quick, you're not an African American. You're just a black American in Africa taking up space.
And we are not Africans. We are not African. Are you an African, baby? I'm not no African.
Rather be alone in my zone writing poems. When I get in, I take a shower, read a book and feel empowered. Smoking on that sour got me counting down the hours, thinking of all the shit that they could do but won't allow us. Then I realized they all some fucking cowards. The world is ours. Me and my brother twin like the towers, and we want it now, never later. No more favors done with all these traitors who be haters on the low. They just hate to see you grow, so I'd rather be alone in my zone writing poems, cause I'm never on the road, and I'd rather stay at home. And life been moving fast lately, trying to get a grasp, and every day I'm mad lately. Never let it drive me crazy, you do this for my old lady, yeah.
They told us stay quiet, better close your lips. We never thought we'd get our chance to speak. So we just stay grinding, trying to hold our chips, and thank God for our chance to breathe. They told us stay quiet, better close your lips. We never thought we'd get our chance to speak. So we just stay grinding, trying to hold our chips, and thank God for our chance to breathe. So let us breathe in.
See, ain't shit changed, but a bunch of people feel us. Reaching for the top, and now I ain't got no ceilings. Pour me up a cup or two so it can stop the bleeding. Roll me up a spliff or two, and now I'm hella weeded, cause I'm feeling like I want it, but I don't know if I need it. Took a few L's, but that nigga undefeated. Same shit, different day, why this so repeated? If we don't talk no more, it's probably cause I felt mistreated. Bad enough I don't hear excuses, trust me you could keep it. Saw it coming from a mile away once I peeped it. Caught up in that drama, mama, I don't get between it. They be trying to turn it on you, damn they really tweaking.
We broke, but we wealthy in ability and hopes fits. Bitch, no, we only need the brokerage. We only overage, overseeing all the dope shit. Killing these cats with they facilities. Flush down the drain, leaning through all 8 lives till that become they centerpiece. Unfold and be a masterpiece at half of all our faculties. We actually dope, you just don't know the half of we.
We actually dope, you just don't know the half of we.
They told us stay quiet, better close your lips. We never thought we'd get our chance to speak. So we just stay grinding, trying to hold our chips, and thank God for our chance to breathe. They told us stay quiet, better close your lips. We never thought we'd get our chance to speak. So we just stay grinding, trying to hold our chips, and thank God for our chance to breathe.
Let's
so
go.
Let us breathe in.
Not even gonna keep playing no music. Smash the like button, y'all, because I'm not gonna be here all day. But Hey, I got Latoya. Hey now, Indigenox, Kusa Dahapi, Koya, Enots, Jeremy. Salute, y'all. Smash the like button. Smash it, please. Hey, guy. Hey, y'all. So, I just want to basically come on to readdress what I was saying, about it's all about the treaties. Oh, it's all about them damn treaties. You better believe it to the core of your being that it's all about the treaties. And that's a fact. And it is what it is. It is what it is. It's about the treaties, and I'm going to show you why it's about the treaties. Let me see. Oh, I wanted to make sure. Ooh. I'm just looking for something. And I want to go through and help you out. I'm trying to get something up so we can get this popping. It better work. Damn it. All right. Oh my goodness. This just sucks. Oh. All right. Well, I'll go back to it later. That's not important right now. Smash the like button. Hey T Cortez. Hey now. Hey y'all. Corey, how y'all doing? So I want to get into it again. And the only way, hey, damn Shia, how you doing? The only way you're gonna understand it is by visually seeing it even more, because it helps even more. Hi Clifton, how are you? Big dog, Philly dog, how y'all doing? Um, the only way you're gonna understand it is actually by seeing it and seeing it. Because, like I said, a lot of us are visual learners, and we got to see what you're talking about rather than just hear what you're talking about, because it helps when you see the visual, because oftentimes we all don't use the right choice words. So when we show you what we mean, you can then understand exactly where we're coming from and what we mean. And that's not to say that anybody has a disability of just point blank understanding. I'm not saying that. It's just that we communicate on YouTube channels to so many different populations and people, period, point blank. And everybody doesn't use the same choice words when they're explaining things, but everybody can visually see uh, exactly what you mean. So I'm going to first start off. Y'all know that I taught you the other day that the Iroquois and the Iroquois, they're the Northern Indians of the Northern Landmass, the Iroquois Confederacy. And Iroquois is not an Indian name. All these names are names that were given by the English to the Indians. So Iroquois being one of them. Given by the Europeans. Every time they met a group of Indians or a particular party of Indians, they gave the Europeans gave them the name that they wanted to identify them as. One being Iroquois. That's a French word, and it literally means black snake. And that's a fact. If you look it up, Iroquois in French means black snake. So now if you look at this map here, the greediness in the Iroquois Confederacy and trying to transition our landmass here in North America, landmass that is, into a more civilized country. They did things just having the North, and they had a lot of land in the North, starting from Canada all the way, to New York and Delaware, all those states. They had all that land, but that just wasn't enough for them. They had to go and mess with the South. So what they did, the mean things, they blocked off the ports. And that's what that snake is right there. It's blocking of all the ports where they do trading in the South. The greed for the land in the South now. And this is why You had the Civil War. This is why the North doesn't relate with the southern states. That's one of the primary reasons why the southern states did not see eye to eye with the northern states. The northern states were very greedy. There were some greedy black snakes, just as it says. This is why I said, please, we have to reconsider ourselves and take back a lot of things that we put on the shoulders of the white Europeans. Because the selling of the land came from the Indian chiefs, and a lot of that land selling was beyond our recognition. We didn't even know it. In a lot of instances, we did not know that our chiefs sold a particular area of land in which we occupied as the individuals of those Indian communities, us Indians. We didn't know. All we knew is Europeans knocking on our door and brown military soldiers of the Iroquois. They had a very powerful army, militia, knocking on our doors, making us get out of our homes in the South. And that's a fact. You see all the signs that I showed you. They were giving our families that been on those lands in the South for thousands and thousands of years, and they were giving them 24-hour notice to get out of their lands in the South. And this is a fact. Here are the old articles that matches it when our chiefs sold our land. Now, I'm going to tell you why you need to really understand that it wasn't no great group of white people that came here and moved us off our lands. Let's look at this for what it really is. Okay. And like I said, I'm not going to be here long. So now we're going to fool around with Tennessee. And this happened to all the southern states, may I say. Southern Tennessee. Look at all the orange. That's all occupied land by Indians. Okay, our chiefs were the only ones that could sell the land to the Europeans. It was customary and it was law that you couldn't sell your land as an Indian, an individual. That was law. You could not sell your land to Europeans. Only the chief could sell land. And that was a fact. Now, if you look at that green little piece that I circled, that's the only piece of that land mass in Tennessee that was sold to white Europeans. Give me a 1 to let me know that you understand that. I got to look at the chat. That was all that was sold to the white Europeans in Tennessee in 1770. The Treaty of Lockbar. That's it. Yeah, we realize that that's what they're doing now, but I'm talking about back then. We're not even talking about today and who's in control today. I'm glad you guys can literally see this. That's it. That's all they owned. Oh, that's all they owned was that little green piece of treaty land. So the green that you see on these maps is treaty land. That's it. Treaty land is land sold by the chief of that area. And we all know the Indians that owned that, all that orange, were the Cherokees, because that's who sold the land to the European, the chief of the Cherokee tribe. So everybody that lived in that area were Cherokees. All right. So let's move along. Now, here we go. You see the blue, where you see the blue or gray or whatever color that is, that's when the Europeans came in here. They squatted and moved in Indian area territory. The chief hadn't sold the land yet, but they were allowed to come in and live. It hadn't turned green yet, it hadn't been sold. They came in there to establish their permanent residency. They're called settlers. And I already went over to the definition of what settlers is. They come in an area that's either occupied or unoccupied, and they make that their permanent residency. And then, boo, it's sold. It turns green. It turns to treaty land because the chief sold all that. All the blue eventually turns green. And you know what happens. You know what happens when it turns blue and green. Niggas start getting pushed off their land because they begin making laws in their municipalities that they build. The Europeans, those Indians that wanted to stay in the area and not get off, were imposed with tax bills and land law that was purchased by the foreigner. So you got tax bills. If they developed the irrigation system, you got a water bill. Shit that Indians wasn't supposed to even pay. Not only did they give away your land, sell the land, but that included yours and you was living in it. Cherokee chief. Now, let's keep going. Now we're getting to 1791 and we got our first census. Look at the land. It's just getting smaller and smaller and smaller. There's more slides, but I just picked out a few of them so you could see. All that blue becomes green. Look, just moving on in, Tennessee.
Wow.
Yeah, making their permanent residency. Look at the orange. All gone. Now look at it.
Nothing left now.
Just gone. Hello. That's some crap. Now, what you have to understand, and I need to get it up, you guys, give me a minute. I'm trying to get it up right now. Let's see. Da, 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 da. No. Let's keep going. No, 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 no. Oh. Geesh. Okay, here we go. I think this does it better. I'm getting it now. Sorry, I didn't. Oh my goodness. Um. Oh, there it is. All right, I'm trying to get it up, you guys. Give me a minute. Um. All right. Oh boy, here we go. All right. So Indians are Indians. Oh boy. Okay, so I guess I could do this. Oh, good. This is even better. So, as we're moving along, okay, understand this. As we're moving along, you do realize that the folks living on this Indian land are Indian residents and of the India of that community. Oh yeah, give me a one that you understand all the green, all the I'm sorry, all the orange is Indian land. Give me a one. All this is Indian land. Good. So, Indian land consists of Indian residents living in those lands, being head of households. And I'm going to show it to you. Being head of households. Let's go. Let me do a share screen. I'm telling you, they're making me do it. Tennessee census sheets. I'm not playing. May I have fire, please? In those times, y'all. Tennessee's. All these Indians living in those areas as head of households. I'm not pulling all that up. I already have hundreds of census sheets. I need to know that you understand this. The census sheets on all these lands. Oh, let's get back to it. Census sheets. All the way up to, I went past 1791. They had census sheets of who lived in these areas. It was nothing but Indians. Nothing. Then you get to the 18, nothing but Indians lived in here. And they moved in and pushed them off. But as an Indian, you have proof of you living in those areas, okay? And not only do you have proof with your census sheet, living in those areas, you also have proof of being kicked off and removed from land you as an individual occupied. And you were the Indian that lived in those territories. If the white Europeans didn't live in the territories, who the hell lived in them? They didn't push Lang Wang and Woonloo Sioux off those lands. It was Negroes, what we call Negroes today, Indians, the Aboriginals, living in all those orange occupied lands. And as the settlers came in, they were pushed off, threatened off, signs going up, because once the Europeans purchased that area, they was able to do what they wanted to do, build and create municipal towns. That's why you see a lot of things founded in this year, founded in that year. Some of them are lies, though. We're not going to always give them all the truth. And during Reconstruction, from being removed from those areas and all this shit, this is what went down. Now, shit like this, don't even play. When tribal nations expel their black members, I need fire. Expel their black members. When tribal nations expel their black members, they're all in court. All the Indians in court. I need fire. You need to understand that. They weren't called no fucking blacks back then. They were Creeks, Cherokees, and Creeks. I'm not playing with these people. I don't have time. This is why I said I'm over here doing my thing, sharing with you what I know to be factual. These people sitting in this court because they got expelled from their damn tribes, kicked off their land and everything. Oh, I ain't finished. This is the funny shit. A Sioux of Crow Creek visiting a class of American history at Hampton Institute in 1890. So you got Indian boy over here and visiting. You better believe you better believe it to your core of your being that all those people standing in there in that class is Creeks, 1890s. Don't play with me. Don't. I am not playing. Creek Indians in the classroom. Fire, please. I'm not moving, and you got to know. The hell you visiting the class for? You're visiting Creeks. That's why. Exactly. Those are Creek Indians in that class. Exactly. Funny shit, right? I'm not playing with these people. I don't have time. Photoshop and shit. It's the funny shit, y'all. You got to understand. Just let this picture set right in here. Let it set. Let that sink in for a minute. Get your fucking laugh on. Can't do this shit in the Library of Congress. You can't make this shit up. I ain't finished. So I think did I show this one? Wait a minute. Now here's the funny shit. Now y'all see how old this goddamn picture is. Old this picture is. American Indian and African Americans students in school. I'm done. I'm fucking done. You know damn well African American was not used back in them old ass days. There ain't nothing but Indians in that damn classroom. I'm not playing with these fools. I'm just not gonna do it. Not today. I put them on to get so you can get your laugh off. They added African American in there. There was an Indian school. They added African American in there. Just let that sit in for one goddamn second. They added African American in there. Indian schools. Look, Indian schools. This is in Kansas. These old ass pictures. I mean, nothing but Indians. When they was moving us off our lands. Little Indians. Little Indians. Look. All Indians from the South. This is what we did. Black codes, Jim Crow Day. Look at the niggas, all the niggas with feathers on their hats. You can't make this shit up. All them had Indians feathers on the back of their hats and shit. Indians. All around. Give our ancestors some fire. You got to be careful who you are allowing to teach you about who you are. You can't make this shit up. Feathers on their head. This was, all Reconstruction transition time. Why would niggas be wearing feathers on their hats? I'm just done with this. 2 Seminole leaders, Accessiola and Tuxi Matha. The Seminole Indians often assimilated escaped slaves, protecting them from slave catchers. These black Seminoles learned the Indians' language, participated in the decisions of Seminole councils, and fought on the side of the Indians in the Seminole Wars. Don't even fucking play with me. Because they give their own self up when they tell the damn story of the militia soldiers coming from South Carolina looking for escaped slaves. How you would be able to tell niggas from these two dudes? That's because they was the same. One in the goddamn same. You couldn't. He said, turn over the Indian slaves. Okay? Turn over the slaves. The escaped slaves, runaway slaves. Pick them. They couldn't pick them out because they didn't know who was a slave and who was an Indian. Because they all the same. You can't make this up. This shit is just too funny. I just can't. One little I just can't do it. That's the whole reason why I came on today, is so you can see. You got to understand. The census sheets match these areas of who lived in these areas. The census sheets, it matches. These are all census sheets in Tennessee in those same goddamn areas. You can't live in that. Prior to it being sold to Europeans, when it was all in the orange and predominantly of the orange, and there was a census sheet for your family, head of household, mom, dad, 16 damn kids, proving that you lived in that area. And as the orange disappeared, you were moved off. Just being there tells you and proves you are the Indian that was occupied in that land that you was kicked off of. And you better believe that to the core of your being. There's nothing else I could tell you. Ain't no goddamn Africans occupied all that orange. None, not one. Owning and operating their own individual farmlands. It wasn't no damn Africans. What do you think of that, Mai? Your mic is muted.
I think for what it is, it's sad. Like, I wasn't there when all of this happened, but I know my
None of
ancestors.
us were. None of us were.
Yeah, but it's still just sad how they just had to just, their land was just taken over like that. And they just had to leave their land because these people are coming from other countries taking over their land, but that's their property. Like, so it's sad.
Yeah, and the fact that the chief is the one that sold the land because the chief is the only one that could sell the land to foreigners. They couldn't individually sell their land to foreigners. You just couldn't do that. When you were Indian and you were living on your land, the only individuals that could sell the land was the Indian chief, not you, the individual. You couldn't do it. And it's just what's just horrifying is the fact of a chief selling a particular area and you not even knowing it that it was sold. In a lot of instances, our ancestors were not told that the land was sold to the European. And when they sold it, perhaps was it clear that your land was sold because you was occupying it? You won't never know that. I don't I don't think that when the chief sold the land, he included the people that live on those lands. The Indians that lived on those lands was in the sale agreement, unless it was the plot was drawn out and it included that area. So when that instance happened, what makes me think that that is the case, they draw out the land plot of the area that's owned, and if your farm is in that area, it becomes part of their area, and you're just living on it. Um, and you didn't move or agree to move; you just decided to continue to stay. Once that municipality was founded and set up, with the mayor and whatever, and set up as a corporation, a municipality, you begin to get water bills and tax bills and shit, and you're living on your land. We didn't do fiat money and shit like that. We traded goods, or whatever we grew off our land, whether it was cotton, corn. We just traded with other Indian tribes in the area and at the border. People from South America, they traded, and that you didn't get money. You got back whatever goods they gave you in exchange for your goods. So there was no way you could pay a fiat monetary amount of tax bill. Like if you get a tax bill, you wasn't going to bring the mayor a box of corn. You know what I'm saying? You had to bring him some money, and they knew you didn't have it. They knew that that's not the life we lived in the South. We live agriculture style, that style, farmland style. And so you're getting a bill. How are you going to pay something that you don't get? You don't get money. You trade goods. So Europeans, they're not looking for a big bag of fucking corn and some cotton. They're looking for money, something we didn't have. And I guess that's what they're trying to say that we're turning in today. Like you're not going to be able to give the dollar. You got to have some like uh crypto and shit, because they're not going to be accepting money, and you should be investing in crypto. So because that's the way they're going to start accepting from you. A lot of foreign countries are into that crypto and shit like that, digital dollar and stuff like that. A lot of them get paid for jobs, like they have stay-at-home jobs for foreigners in other countries. Some they could be customer service reps. They get paid by crypto, and they're accustomed to getting paid that way. They don't get paid by money, cash, like we do. And I'm sure you're aware of all that. Mai, what do you think? That's what they're saying it's going to come to. Like our dollars, we're not going to be able to pay for stuff after a while with our dollars. You gotta have some type of crypto.
Yep, everything's about to change. Everything, money's not going to even matter. Money is a debt anyway. It doesn't really matter, but it does. But from what I'm hearing, yeah, everything's about to go into this crypto Bitcoin stuff. So I don't even know how to mess with that, but I just know that it's going to start doing that. So
I don't either.
I don't even want to learn it because for me, it's this white thing that, you know what I'm saying? Let's go back to the way it used to be. I give you some corn, you give me some carrots. That works.
Right?
Just saying, because those are necessities, things that we need. Okay, you give me the money. I have the money, but money is not, it's not everything. If I have my own farm, I got 2 kids. My 21-year-old will be helping me on the farm too, but I would do that. Like that would be, those are things that I need. Like you give me this money, but it's a debt. I'm in debt.
Yeah. Yeah. Facts. I mean, I wouldn't. I mean, I know I wouldn't want to deal with no livestock like pigs and hogs, and oh, I don't want to do that.
I would. I like animals. Animals are, to me, like animals are great. Sometimes I'd rather deal with an animal than humans, but they're good to have. I wouldn't have. I'm not a vegan. Hold on, let me explain something. I'm not a vegan, but I would not have my animals to chop them up and slaughter, like my cows and my chickens. Those would be my animals. Like they would be
your
my
pets. Your
friends. They would do stuff. They would lay my eggs if I need my milk. I mean, I'm lactose, but yeah, I wouldn't use them for that. I wouldn't.
I mean, for those reasons, yeah, I wouldn't mind like having, the cow and chickens and where they lay eggs and stuff. I would like that too. Because then, I mean, and it works well for people that are vegans. So many people across the Americas are are going back to being vegans because you grow the vegetables. Excuse me, you get full off the vegetables and you get all those great vitamins and nutrients, and it's less. You don't get all these damn stomach bugs and parasites in your stomach from eating the different meats because a lot of the meats have these horrible parasites in them and it gives you stomach infections and shit. So I understand. I mean, I could eat a bowl of vegetables and get full quick, especially cabbage. I could eat cabbage and be full and some cornbread and be full and rice. Don't need meat. You don't really need it. And that's true. I get that. But
the words of my great grandmother, if you got some potatoes, you could never go hungry.
That's a fact. You could do a lot with potatoes. But I'm gonna open up the panel because I really want people to dialogue with me that they understand how that is the treaty, using the treaty and the maps and the census sheets shows and can identify you as a people. You're not Africans running a farmland. You're just not. Not like, no. You are the whatever Indian that was there, in this case, Cherokees. That's who you were living in that land. Could have been some Creeks too. That's who you were in that land. If your family was removed off that land and your family's land was sold, which it was, it all turned green. Then prior to it turning green, and while it was green, you were that Indian, that individual Indian. And the land was sold by the chief. Facts. By a treaty. That treaty identifies you. And I'm going to open up the panel to hear agree or disagree. Ain't no fucking way you can disagree. All the orange was Indians. It wasn't Africans. The people that lived on that land. Who do you think lived on the land? before it was sold to Europeans, foreigners coming in here. Who do you think lived in those areas? They had a chief. So I'm going to play a little song and wait for folks to come up. I would really like to hear your feedback. Let me put the link in the chat because I didn't put it in there. And every so often, Toya, you could copy it and put it back in the chat in case it gets lost in the sauce. But I'm going to play a little song. I'd like the piano is open for dialogue. You're welcome to come up anytime you want.
I'm high off a round of applause, taking the cash to deposit. All of that talking is polished. Played out the gate, they sing praise, but I'm unapproachable, save it. Can't tell me shit, I've been on one. Losing my grip and I'm slipping. We still alive, but ain't living. Anxiety fall through to cripple me. Your calls going missing. The devil busy, he tempt me. Too much elixir, my enemy. In my mind, it's like 10 of me. They don't sound like your symphony. Sucking all of my energy. I'm not asking for empathy. Unless it's for the babies of the street, they a product of colic. Reality is running up to rob me of my sleep. The world been cold as gravity is pushing down, it's hard to breathe. Still it's solid on one knee. My pen is hollow, let it bleed. Trying to convince me that you give a fuck about my needs. How you finna fix the issue God don't even see? You can miss me with them empty gestures. I do more to get by without it. I'm a living legend. You say you was try to die. I'ma need you by my side. I've been living on the edge, just trying to get it together. Tell me, can you hold me down? Tell me, can you hold me down? I could really use your presence. Give mine in return. I know everything been hella hectic, but that body so angelic. Pull it quick, make you forget things for a minute. Take it slowly when I'm in it. Feel the flow, take all the tension that you pent up and expend it. Don't pretend like you ain't worth way more than everything I got.
Hey, Brooks Melvin, I'm going to say yes to your answer. And I'll tell you why. Because slave is employment. So you figure if someone, a foreigner is coming on, has settled in an area in which you lived on. Let me turn this off. If foreigners settled in an area in which you lived on as an Indian, okay, there were all kinds of deals that were made because the people that occupied those lands knew how to cultivate them. So in some instances, there was friendly relationships where they said, they begin to establish businesses, and who better to get to do the jobs and pay them for cultivating the area that they're kicked off or they're in, that they're staying in. So if you're cultivating the land, helping as a employment, aka slavery job, you're now making fiat. You're making money, so you could pay where you live. And a lot of those instances, it could have been, all kinds of things could have. I'm seeing that could have took place. People, instead of just pushing people off their land, they know how to cultivate an area or a farm on the farmland that they already, sharecropping. And they get paid for that. Or the pay could be that you're paying the owners, the new owners of the area that you lived in with your services as a sharecropper for them. So that's a way of paying your tax dollars or whatever the hell they're trying to build an Indian for. You get what I mean, right? And some Indians just simply that I ain't doing shit for you. So it became war because they wasn't leaving the area that they've been on for thousands and thousands of years. So many chose to go to war, which led up to the Civil War. This is what a lot of what led up to the Civil War, the North between the South. These Northerners bringing in the black snakes, bringing in foreigners to settle in on these lands. Yes, That's what led up to the war. The Indians in the South saying, hell no, I ain't moving. And it became a horrible, bloody war. Andrew Jackson marched his ass up there in 1812. And then after that, you turn around some years later, you had the Civil War because they got tired of the shit. And this is where I cannot blame the South. They went to bat. They went to fight. So I clearly understand the reluctant relationship with a lot of our Southerners against our Northerners, because the Northerners look like the people. A lot of the Northerners look like the people that came up there and encroached on their lands and helped remove them from their lands, like they did here in the North with the other tribes. So I have to say, Melvin, Mr. Brooks, absolutely to your question. Yes. Any questions, Mai, or because I've been on almost an hour. I didn't want to stay on that long. If you guys smash the like button, this is why American Indians are now saying they used to be sharecroppers. Well, they were American Indians, the Negroes that I just showed you in all those pictures, and they put them in Indian schools when in the Reconstruction era. All those pictures I showed was during Reconstruction era. They began going to little Indian schools after they pushed them off their damn lands and reconverting them, reconstructing on how business was going to be now done in these here North American land masses, with the nasty black snakes, Iroquois, taking over the damn planet, who became the government. American Indians. American Indians, because Native was not used back during that time, just like African American wasn't. And y'all, you better believe that to the core of your being as well. Native was not used back during those times. No, I didn't get to Georgia yet. I didn't get to Georgia. I actually have Mississippi and Alabama. I was going to do it today, but I probably will do it if not later this evening, probably tomorrow. I'll do Georgia. I'll do Alabama and Mississippi because I have those already. But I'm not going to do it right now today. I'm just have a lot to do today. So tomorrow I'm definitely going to do Alabama and Mississippi treaties. And believe it or not, with Tennessee, there's more treaties. There's a whole bunch of more treaties, but I just did those few so you could see it's the treaties. It's the treaties that identify you. And them damn census sheets backs up the treaties, because who was living on all the land? I mean, just answer this. Let me put it back up. Helps when you put it up. All right. Chat room. And this includes you, Mai. Who, and all the orange, who are the individual people that lived on all the orange, in all the orange? Who are the people that lived in all the orange?
The Indians.
Thank you. Give me a 1 or the answer if you agree. Who lived in all the orange? Facts, John. Did Africans live in the orange, owning their own farms?
African is African, Indian is Indian. It only the Indians, no Africans.
Facts. So let's move it a little bit more. Let's keep doing it. Who lived in the orange? The years are going up now. Who lived in the orange?
Still the Indians.
Okay. Who lived in the blue?
The Europeans, but that land wasn't sold yet.
Oh, thank you for reminding me. Who lived in the green?
That sold land, but it's the Europeans. But the Europeans did live in the blue. They were able to come and live in the blue, but the land wasn't sold, correct?
That is correct.
Okay, but once it turned green, the land was sold, and now they own, the Europeans own that.
Right, that's correct. That's right, because it'll turn green. It'll turn green like it did here. It began turning green in areas that they were buying. So yeah, you're right. That is correct. And all that's all I wanted to get everybody to understand. The number one thing that I want you to understand when it comes to this and those treaties is the treaties identify who you are as the individual racially, defines who you are. Indians lived here. Indians in school, Indian schools. Why would this fake Indian, it's funny as hell, be visiting this school? Because it's an Indian school. It's an Indian school of Creeks. All right. I want you to understand. And that was during Reconstruction time. And that's a fact. And they begin going to little Indian schools. Yeah. So understand the treaty identifies who you are. How come? Because the treaty is signed by the chief who sold the land. So if the Cherokee chief sold the land, then obviously it's Cherokee Indians living in that area. That's the race identity of the people that lived in all that orange. It was Cherokees. Give me a 1 if you understand that. We got like 2 minutes and I'm going to get out of here. I didn't want to be more than an hour. Yeah, Alabama's tomorrow, Jonathan, in Mississippi. Yes. Good. All the orange where the people lived were the Indians. All Indians occupied that orange. Always remember that. And don't you ever, ever let anybody tell you that the Indian just owned the land and they didn't live there. That's bullshit. That's the area. That was Indian territory. It was Indian land, all that orange. And they had members, people, families that lived in all that orange. They were all Cherokee Indians. And you have to believe that. You have to. That's how you know who you are. Africans did not live in that orange. Even when it turned blue and green, Indians still lived in those areas because they didn't want to leave. But that whole map is Cherokee Indians. That's your racial identity. That's your nationality. That's your ethnic race. That's your ethnicity. Don't ever forget it. I wouldn't care if they signed fake chiefs or real chiefs. The area still was that of the said land, Cherokee land, sold by a Cherokee chief, whether he was fake or real. The people that lived in that area were Cherokee Indians. That's all that matters. I wouldn't care if Kunta Kinte was appointed as chief. The area of the land, that of the people that occupied that territory in those days were Cherokees. That's all that's important to us. Let the rest of the world play with their nuts and their balls about who the chief is and who the chief wasn't. The people in the area were Cherokees. And that's all that's important to you. So you should do yourself the honor and correct your race identity and declare it once you see your ancestor on that area. 1830. That's the Indian you are. You have your proof of your lineage. Why would you be there? Even if you were pushed from it, you have proof that you were pushed off of it. You have it. Once a treaty is signed, you're pretty much pushed off the area that you were living in. Ownership was taken away from you when a treaty was signed of land as it pertained to land. That's straight up push off. The treaty is the proof. And you need to understand that. Once a treaty was signed as it pertained to land and you were in that area, the treaty is proof that you were pushed off. Your chief pushed you off your damn land because the motherfucker sold it. And when the Europeans moved in and settled and got balls, knowing that they now own the land, that's when their balls grew. They began pushing you off. Get out, nigger. The whole thing. Oh, what you seen in the movies was true. They was pushing you off. They did a job down south. Our own people, once an area was taken over in the south, oh, come on. My home state during that time was just a terrible hot mess. South Carolina. Tell you right in the New York Times, black people's land was stolen. You're damn right. Look what they did. That's South Carolina, South Kakalaki. That's what they did to us. Or Louisiana, one or the other. I don't know. Or Oklahoma, whatever. No, I think that's South Carolina. I think that was. Yeah, that's the shit that was done to get you out. Whether you were blown up or not. That's what they did to Indian lands. The black snakes of the North. Let's not ever forget them. Ever. You can't. You cannot. That's who was the fight over, North and South. Who were over the North? The Iroquois, the black snakes. Why would they even call them black snakes? Why would the French even call them black snakes? Do you think that if they were all white, that they would call them white snakes? If they were white, why would they? If they were white, why would they call them black snakes? Doesn't make any sense. Wake up, please. Melvin, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. That's so kind. That's sweet. Yeah, y'all can hit that button like Melvin's doing too. I have that down there. I guess a lot of folks don't know it. Oh, yeah, Lil Mayhem. You know it too. Smash the like button, y'all. You know it. They did it. They came from the North and did this. It wasn't the South fighting against the South. No, it was the North when they came up there. Blocked us. Because the South really didn't need to do any business with the North. Because they had so many ports with working with other people and other ways of getting to other towns and other states. They have ports. So what did they do? They blocked all the ports, all the shortcuts. If they had a shortcut from like Florida to Cuba, they blocked it. If they had a shortcut from Florida to Jamaica, they blocked the port. Because the South didn't need to do any business with the North at all. They really didn't. They didn't really need to do any trading business. Because number one, the North is notorious for trading a lot of furs because it was cold. The South is hot. They don't need no furs. That was the big trade in the North. Give me a 1 if you understand that. So the South really didn't need to do no business with the North. All the ports that they had, you know, to trade with other countries like Cuba, Haiti, all those Puerto Rico, in the area that they wanted to trade with in the South, they didn't need to come to the North. They could have traded with Jamaica. They could have traded with Barbados. They did not need to come north to make goods and shit. So the North was jealous and mad because the South was always booming. Didn't nobody need no fur coats down south in Florida. They didn't need beads and little necklaces. They can get all that shit from Puerto Rico, Jamaica, Barbados, where Indians made that shit at. Cuba, Haiti, all where they made things. So this is what the little snake did. He blocked all the goddamn ports with militia. That black snake is their militia. Look at Florida. They couldn't trade shit. Horrible. Understand, that's the word today. This is what I want you to keep in your mind today. The treaty of my ancestors' state identifies me. It tells me who I am. It's factual. Keep that in your heart. The treaty identifies you. Hey, Copper. So I've been on for an hour, you guys. I got a lot of things to do. I have a lot of things to do, love. No more questions. I think everybody understand there's going to be other brothers and sisters coming on live today. Again, thank you, Melvin. I really appreciate that. It sure feels good to see that coming into me. I tell you. But please support Wire, y'all. My Cash App is there. Keep that in your mind. Treaties identify you. They back you up. They show that the treaties show that not only showed that you occupied a particular area where a chief sold the land, but it also shows that the signing of the treaty by the chief pushes you off your land that you were on, and it proves that you were the Indian in that area. And that's a fact. That's a fact. All this stuff you can look up. You can look up any treaty. I showed you the treaties, all those treaties. I downloaded all of them. And as I do them, I'm emailing you the slides. So you're getting the slides and you're also getting the treaty. The treaty is law. And they don't, love you too, little man. I'm going to do Alabama. Let me see. Yeah, Alabama and Mississippi tomorrow. So I'm going to get off here, you guys. I love you guys. And watch. I got a lot of things to do. So everybody else is going to be coming on live today. So I'll be watching their channels. Love y'all. And I'm going to get on up out of here, y'all. It's going to be a beautiful day.
Have a wonderful day, everyone. Yeah. Thank you for having me, Sister Bethy.
Conscious.
Stay in the back, Joy.
Maddie. And so far where I come from. I sit and wonder about the times that it made sense. But nowadays I don't worry about what's past tense. My younger days I used to hang around with mad friends. If we just fell out, I don't really know what happened. A lot of people come around and keep you stagnant, distraction. So yeah, don't show them no compassion. We was really out here grinding, really rapping. Stacking them Franklins, them Grants and them Jacksons. Imagine If we would've never chased our passion, we probably would've never knew what happened. They was all just talk, we showed action. Once they leave, don't you let them back in. Just pack up all they stuff and send them packing. I'm blacking on anybody thinking they could act up with me. This vibe ain't for free, cause where I'm at in life, I'm only focused on me. Note the self, know yourself, focus on your health. They don't wanna help, then fuck it, do it by yourself. Don't give them no excuse to put you on the shelf. If it's me, myself, and I, then it's no one else. Yeah, self-love is the best love. It's the people who always give that never get love. They ain't real enough to probably say they messed up. Just let it go and make the best of it. Yeah, self-love is the best love. It's the people who always give that never get love. They ain't real enough to probably say they messed up. Just let it go and make the best of it. Love yourself.
Yeah, practice what you preaching, but clearly they not practicing entitlement and pride. Yeah, those two things they factor in. Spiral out of control just from all the bantering. When they accustomed to talking behind your back with all that chattering. I remove myself before I abuse myself. Talk about self-love, but you gotta do it yourself. Yeah, I won't act too good for no help. We all healing now. Said some things about me that ain't true. How you feeling now? Even at my lowest, they tried to find a way to bring me down. Big y'all up for years, ain't talking just the brand or the sound. I don't throw things around, I do it from the heart proud. Mama just wanna see her sunshine, removing them dark clouds.
Hey, y'all, I thought I was gonna be gone, but I know there's some little haters in the chat that are foreigners to this land. But like I said, keep in your heart always, always, that your chief sold your land via treaties. Please keep that. The whole purpose of this is to understand it is the treaty that tells what happened to your land when it was sold by your chief. Understand that treaty identifies you. That treaty identifies what happened to you. Understand that. That's the whole purpose of me explaining. Now, the treaties does more, but for the purposes of being content and within, who am I? I know I'm not African. It's my chief that sold this area that I was in. When we assimilated into the corporation, we didn't assimilate as Africans. Understand that. When they reconstructed everything, we didn't get reconstructed. We got reconstructed later as Africans in like 1988 from Jesse Jackson. But you better believe to the core of your being when you were pushed off your lands and into the north. And I read to you on tactics that the Iroquois did. Where did they go when their empire suddenly disappeared? They all went into the inner cities and all into the urban areas, to be exact, is the exact word that they use. What happened to the black snakes? Where did they go? They moved into the urban areas. Where are the urban areas? I showed you thousands of urban areas. Them dudes put on a mask the whole time it was them. And I showed you. And I'm going to show it again because people need to see that. What happened to that black snakes, those black snakes? They all moved into the urban areas and had the people, when they signed off and sold the land, they had the habit of having those people come and live amongst them because their asses was in the urban areas, calling shots the whole time. The story that you hear when the Iroquois, remember when they told the framers that when they reestablished to tie a bond and knot and just lock in, that's what they did. They became the United States. I'm not playing, y'all. And you need to understand that. This is what Scott Snakes did. They became. Oh, we're gonna keep pushing on this, y'all. We're going to keep pushing. But seriously, I'm really, really going to go now. But don't pay any mind. Like my niece always tells me, Auntie, don't pay them any mind in the audience. We're hitting their bone and marrow. Bye. Back second.
Yeah.
Good night, y'all.
These are my memoirs. Light up a cigar, smoke up the memories as I sit and dust them off. Why do people say it's just to piss you off? Ignore them, no call button and then dress too par. Now they can't test the guards, had to defy the odds. It only get tougher back then, we thought times was hard. Told them don't write me off, told them don't type at all. To all the ones that gave up, this a reply to y'all. That wavy haired kid that you knew, been on a tear since. The cries was lower than the laughter now that I'm hearing. The praise for staying committed to something they played with. It was always about us, it's never about who's your favorite. Took my insecurities and made my future more secure. The way we moving, it's like we really been here before. The proof is in the progress from the year before. Furthermore, we wanted to further things more. They took another route, so what you think we kings for? No angel ever said, yo, who these wings for? Ain't no champion ever said, who these